out to you. We first reached out to you in 2021 in December, when we started to put together a staff for the inaugural USFL season. And Ron Baines, who's one of our supervisors, is the one that said to me, you have got to get Alex Moore. I mean, he is new, he gets it, he's gonna be a superstar, but he wasn't really on the radar necessarily yet. But I said, well, I mean, Baines, I so respect him that if he was that strong, I said, okay, I'm good with that. And then I was going to get a chance to see you work a postseason college game too. So I think about that. And then I think about to where we are going to be on Sunday and beyond. And you have gone in 1 year, you've gone SEC, USFL, USFL championship game, NFL. I mean, describe the feeling for you about 2022.
Well, like you said, the end of 2021 until now has been just a roller coaster of emotion. First, like you said, I kind of knew I was under the radar, which was okay with me. You know, I was still trying to get my feet as a referee. And then Baines called me and reached out and said, hey, you're going to get an application, fill it out. And then I spoke to you, and that was the start of the USFL process. And I think my last game was the Auburn, Alabama game, and you watched it and you sent me a text and you said, good job. So I was like, well, hopefully I have a chance to get into the USFL. So I got into the USFL and started working, and, you know, I was placed with a great crew. So I was blessed with that. We started working right away, working on USFL rules and different things like that. So just that transition from college to USFL was helped by the crew that you gave me. So thanks for that. And then as we started working, there was rumors that, you know, 8 guys, 9 guys, 10 guys might come from the USFL to the NFL. And I hadn't got placed on the ODP list earlier in 2021. So it's been just a plethora of different things for this last year for me. And I just was thinking, well, maybe I have a chance, but probably not, because this is my first year on the ODP, and it's just a learning opportunity. And then I got the call, which completely shocked me. I was walking from my bedroom to the kitchen. Like you said, you'll never forget where you were, what you were doing. I was walking to the kitchen and I got the call, but it wasn't from an NFL guy. It was from an SEC guy, which kind of threw me for a loop. And he started telling me that I was losing my umpire and that I'd have to work with a different umpire, which was kind of disappointing because I really loved my umpire on my crew. And then ultimately he told me, I'm just kidding with you, welcome to the NFL. And at that moment, everything, like you said, it's just a life-changing experience. And I was just so happy and grateful for all the opportunities that I've been given through football up until this moment. So,
you know, it's really interesting. And you say it was your first year in the ODP list. That's the officiating development program that they have, which they work with officials on the college level, really kind of getting this group of, which has been as many as 60, maybe a little bit less this year, but getting them ready to work in the league. It's a fantastic program. I mean, minus what we used to have back in my day, NFL Europe, where we got to take officials over to Europe and spend a week at a time with them and work games there under NFL mechanics. I mean, those were great things, but the ODP has been fantastic. But I didn't think you'd get in, quite frankly, this early. And then when I got the call that you were going to be brought in, this is before you got the call, I got the call. And I was sworn to secrecy, which, by the way, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at secrecy, keeping secrets. But when your name was brought up, I mean, it resonated to me because the person that called me said, I already love the kid, you know, and to me, it's exactly the way that I felt as I had gotten to know you, that you were humble, that you wanted to learn. And I just think it's a perfect fit. And you are not going in before your time. You are going in when your time is appropriate. And man, you got a long career. And I know they sit you in the umpire position, which is not a term that you've had by your name very often, umpire, but it's only because they're going to make you a referee. Because in the NFL mechanics, you work on the same side as the ball as the referee, so you see the same thing. So I will be so excited to being able to watch you progress. I mean, that's the cool part for me, is to being involved with a program like this and then getting to see my guys in the USFL, 8 of you take the step forward and go into the NFL. So championship game is set. Tell us, what was your season like?
Oh, the season was a blast. Like I said, we had a great crew, and so each weekend that we went out, it was just a good opportunity to go out, work some football, get to know some guys, and have some fun out there. So we were just managing the game, trying to stay out of the way, and from time to time, I got to talk to you over the headset too. So that was also pretty enjoyable.
You got to yell Mayday, yeah, Mayday. I did. Yeah, my Mayday, and we've said this before, my nickname was Mayday. So if I yelled Mayday into the communication system with the official, which the officials are on, then that means I want to look at something. So then everybody chose to, well, not everybody, but certainly you did, chose to call me Mayday. So that became my my nickname. You went from the pressure cooker of the SEC. I mean, it is the NFL of the South. You know, and so that to take the step to the USFL, I mean, it's interesting because you had a set of rules in college. You've been, because of your involvement in the ODP for the 1 year, you've been looking a bit at the NFL rules, and then you get thrown these differences in the USFL, the tweaks that we put in. Was there any rules that you liked of our tweaks that you think of that you thought were kind of cool, or it was kind of cool?
I like the post-possession play. I think that's a really good change. It eliminates the onside kick, which it's so many different things that can go wrong from an officiating perspective that we have to worry about on that one play. And we never get a chance to work it. The only time we get to work that play is when it's happening live in front of everybody. So the post-possession play, I think, is a really good change that gives us a chance to just work football. It gives a team a chance to get a first down, and we go from there. But I also like the overtime. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the 7 overtime Texas A&M LSU game.
Oh.
So I know how long that process can go when it's not done in a manner that this is. So I thought that was really, really good. And I was fortunate enough to work the first overtime game in the USFL. So.
Wow. I mean, the 7 overtime game really led to rule change to kind of shorten the process, you know. I mean, I think the rules turned out well, the tweaks that turned out well. And I like too that there were more kickoff returns, which, you know, more in relationship certainly to the NFL. I mean, in college too, there's a lot of touchbacks. With the ball going out to the 25, it's kind of advantageous to that. So you move it back to the 25 to kickoff, and then you're going to get, as we did, we got a little over 80% returns. Let's talk about last week's game with New Jersey and Philadelphia. You didn't work the game, but I sent you some video clips to look at. It was the most I have ever been involved in a game this year. And of course, I wish it could have been maybe week 10 where there was nothing on the line. But no, my involvement came seemed like frequently. And 2 big calls. Roughing the passer was called on a Philadelphia interception, and a long interception return that I think took the ball back inside the 10-yard line. It was the second quarter, I think, with 10 minutes to go. And replay in the USFL, we can look at all personal fouls that are called. We can't create fouls, personal fouls, but we can look at the ones that were called. And so I got thrust into taking a look at this play and seeing whether or not the roughing the passer was a correct call. When I do talk to the person that made the call, like the referee, I will talk to him, what did you see? And he said he slammed him into the ground. And I just looked at that, and you know, my feeling was, and Alex, we had it on the video that week, there needed to be a second act and to really land on top of the quarterback with all or most of your body weight. And I didn't think there was a second act. I thought it was all one act. And then the other thing was he didn't land on top of him. So then I tried to put it in the category, was it late? And I couldn't put it in the category of being late. So therefore I took it off, which is a huge play because then the interception stood. What were your thoughts about the play from your perspective? And I'm sure you're like me, you could see why it was called, but give me your thoughts on the play.
I can absolutely see why it was called. And just looking at the play, there were two different aspects that the referee and umpire would have to evaluate on that. It was the first potential for high contact with the arm coming across the quarterback's shoulder and helmet area. And then it was the act of taking him to the ground, which is what was called. And so we'd have to evaluate whether or not he actually landed on him or if he actually drove him into the ground using unnecessary force. So it happens very fast, and I can see it absolutely why it was called on the field. And when you get a chance to look at it in replay and you can slow it down and see different angles, I can see why you would take it off also.
There was another play, and this one was a scary play. This was in the fourth quarter at the 10:30 mark, I think it was, and we had a shot on a kickoff return. I mean, it was an absolute shot. I mean, the kickoff returner is running at full speed, and you have this big, huge collision near the sideline, and really almost knocking out both players. I mean, both players. And a flag was thrown for a illegal use of the helmet hit. And it was another one to me that it just felt, the hit felt so violent that you could almost, when it happened, you would think, yeah, it must have been a foul. But then when you look at it, the head is actually off to the side and it's really shoulder to head contact. And again, this was called against Philadelphia, and then I decided to pick it up, and of course that went against New Jersey again. So again, they were not very happy about that. But your thoughts on that play?
Once again, from the field perspective, everything about the action of the tackler looked like it was going to be a foul. You can see him dipping his head, and like you said, it's just an explosive hit, and you just think it has to be a foul. But once you get into replay, you kind of see that the helmet is off to the side, and all the forcible contact was from the shoulder to the runner, who's not a defenseless player. So at that point, there's no foul.
Yeah, this game is so damn tough to officiate, you know, and we are all, those of us that are in my position, you know, we're all experts, right? Because we get to see it in slow motion. You all don't get to see it in slow motion. Everything you do is bang, bang. And you know, everybody criticizes you all the time. So how are you going to prepare your crew heading into Sunday?
Well, I sent out notification on Monday to the crew with the pregame agenda and let them know everything that we're going to do for the weekend. And almost instantaneously, we started going back and forth with film of different plays and mechanics and situations from both teams. We haven't had, as a crew, we have not had Birmingham. So we're going to go a little more in depth in just looking at them, just make sure we're aware of different formations that they run and different things like that. But overall, as a crew, we're just going to look at some football plays and just talk football. Like I said at the start, I've been blessed with a great crew. All very good football officials from across the country. So in our pregame, we'll just get together and we'll look at some plays and talk football and talk, do we like this for a foul? Do we not like it? How do we see this type of thing and different things like that?
Well, listen, I'm so appreciative that you would join us today. I think I told you, and I think I made some comment at one point in time. I think I did overturn one of your calls, and I hated to do it because I like you so much. Or maybe I didn't overturn it,
No,
and maybe I should have
overturned me,
like you so much.
But we're still friends.
Okay, good. That's important to me that we're still friends. And I just think that when I see people like you, when I watch people like you, but mostly when I interact with someone like you and the way I see you interact with your crewmates, your supervisors, and me, I really feel like the NFL is in good hands when it comes to the people that they have brought in. And so I'm a fan. I'm a fan, Alex. I will leave you alone after this coming Sunday in Canton. I will leave you alone on your own ways. Although if the NFL allowed you to come back and work in the off season, I'd be like the most super excited guy in the world, but I'll leave you alone. But I wish you unparalleled success. And in my heart and in my mind, I think you're going to achieve that. I think you're going to achieve that. Don't let it go to your head.
No.
But I always think of good officials as having it. That old thing that we as officials talk about, it. What is it? I don't know. But you know it when you see it. And I see that in you. And I look forward to, long after my days are done with the USFL and Fox, to be able to watch from my sofa and see you work. So thanks again. Best of luck. Championship Sunday coming up in Canton. Alex Moore and his crew will be running the show. That's it for this week. We're going to do another one. We'll have another show next week after the championship game, and we'll look at some of the big plays from the biggest game of the year. Thanks for watching, everybody.